Hi! Welcome back to part 2 of Doki Doki Blue Skies. Now, if you remember from last episode, well, not episode, video, if you remember from last video, we asked Yuri to recommend us a book, which was Markov. And now we're here. If you haven't watched part 1, you should probably go watch part 1 before watching this. But now I gotta figure out, who do I write a poem for? I mean, since Yuri did recommend us Markov, I think we should do Yuri. I know all these, I know the word list by heart. So this shouldn't be too bad. Okay, let me say this right now, I'm not gonna be perfect poeming then. I'm not gonna do a perfect poem, that's just a waste of time. Alright, that's a poem done. Circle Guy, fancy meeting you here. Yeah, what a coincidence, huh? Seriously speaking though, I'm happy to see you back here. I would have been disappointed if you ran away on us. I enjoyed myself last time, so why wouldn't I come back? True enough. Feel free to make yourself at home before we start on our club activities. Thanks, will do. While I'm back at the literature club, Stereo and I were the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Oh, Circle Guy, I'm glad to see you here again. Knew that something so simple would warrant so much thanks. First Monica and now Yuri. I know it may be overwhelming to be thrown into a new hobby so suddenly, much less an organization centered around that hobby. So don't hesitate to let me know if you ever need any help. Or any other club members for that matter. That is to say, feel free to ask any one of us for assistance. Right, thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Don't worry though, it's not like I've never read anything before. I even remember to write a poem for today, if you'll believe it. Let's believe it when we see it! Hey, it's not like I need to have a university degree to write a poem. It was just like another school assignment, although it might be a little new to me. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to write a bad poem, you mean? She's got me there. And that's why I never said I wrote a good poem. Natsuki smirks at me, seemingly pleased that I'm not offended by her teasing. Well, good. It's often subjective when it comes to subjects like these. I'm sure you did fine, Circle Guy. Well, thanks for the vote of confidence. Trying to overhype my work, though. Yeah, Yuri, if you keep expectations low, you'll never be disappointed. Besides, I bet this is the first extracurricular Circle Guy's done since high school started. So extra work is probably really foreign to him. Again, she's not wrong. But she doesn't have to say it like that. Natsuki, you're being unfairly harsh. Circle Guy, what would you say your main hobbies are? Wow, she's really putting me on the spot here. I know I'm playing into your teasing right now, but yes, I spent lots of my time playing games and watching anime. And that's all you need to know. That's a bit rich coming from someone who keeps their manga collection in the club room. What? Natsuki sputters to a halt. Looks like a certain someone knows how to dish out but can't take it. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Hey guys, Circle Guy always gets his best as long as he's having fun. He's always been here when I need him. When we were kids, he'd always be on to help me with his stuff. Oh, and you two, are you two childhood friends? I glance at Sayori despite her cheery recollection of our childhood memories. Just then, Yuri questions is a reminder that we haven't spent much time together in a long time. It's a tad awkward. Yeah, we've known each other for a while, haven't we? We smile at each other. I'm really hoping we can use the club to reconnect. Such a history with one another. I imagine you've shared much together. You could say that. Would you believe Sayori is still as clumsy now as she was 10 years ago? Hey, meanie, that's not true. Oh, need I tell you about the time you tried to cook lunch and almost set the house on fire? Her face turned pink. She was to interrupt me. Anyway, I'm sure you two could be just as good as friends. After all, you're both in the literature club now. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yuri looks hopeful at hearing this, although I can't help but wonder. Given the maturity and intelligence she carries so elegantly, and how her passion for reading is much stronger than my own, will it be as easy as Sayori thinks it is? Still, it's worth a try at least. Yay! Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know? But wait, Sayori. Eh? Me? It's not much really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. Whatever it is, I'm sure I'll like it. What is it, Yuri? Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it really is not. I was going to wait to give it to you at the appropriate time, but... Eh? I'm sorry, Yuri. I wasn't thinking. Now I've ruined the surprise. two girls look both dolefully down. I guess that means up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so this is still a pleasant surprise to me. Just knowing that you went through the effort to get me something makes me feel really welcomed. No matter what, I'm sure it'll make me happy. Is that so? Of course! Thanks for being so considerate, Yuri. You're welcome. It was the least I could do. Anyway, if that's the case, here it is. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. Isn't this the book from yesterday? Upon seeing the confused look on my face, she hesitates to explain. I thought you might like to, have your own copy so that you can read it on your own as well. I honestly don't know what to say. How is it that she's only known me for a day? I accidentally clicked entered. Oh, Yuri, thank you. That's really hopeful of you, but, you didn't have to do that for me. I feel kinda bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that. I just don't... I understand if you don't want to read with me anymore, so... Honestly, she gets more adorable by the minute. Hell no! What? Please, it's fine. I'd love to read it with you. I just wasn't expecting you to buy me a copy of my own. Are you sure? I don't want to force you. Seriously, Yuri, I'm sure. After all, I grin at her. It is a good book. She timidly returns my smile, relaxing a little bit. I'm glad you seem to think so. How are you thinking it so far? She looks at me with wide eyes, expectant eyes. She must be really worried that I'm not enjoying it as much as her. To be honest, I've been pleasantly surprised. While horror isn't really my thing, it really keeps my attention. Even though I haven't gotten very far yet, I find myself feeling sorry for the protagonist. The language is pretty, engaging. It certainly makes me think about it. As I praise the book, her face grows visibly more relieved, and her eyes light up as I mention the language. I'm glad you think so. One not only needs to look at what is being said, but how it's phrased. It can entirely change the desired message. Wouldn't you agree? Oh boy, I hope we don't get into an in-depth discussion about the language. I'm still nowhere near Yuri's level with this sort of thing. Oh, totally. I never really thought about it until you brought it up with me. You really made me look at it a bit more scrutinally than I would normally. She blushes at this, turning away slightly. Really? I helped you with that? I have to admit, you really managed to open my eyes to this sort of thing. Or should I say, my third eye. Yuri's silence makes me nervous. Did I make a mistake? You know, because the book mentions the third eye, and there's an eye on the cover. Ah, I see. Probably best not to comment on her accidental continuation of the pun. Tough crowd. Oh, I see. You were making a joke. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. No worries, I just thought it was a good pun. She smiles bashfully. Uh-huh. Yes, it is quite humorous, isn't it? Phew. I think that means everything's okay now. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off the scheduled activities for the club. Like the poetry thing. I've already steeled myself of the critique I'll probably be receiving, but it seems that we have some downtime before then. However, looks like I won't be able to just immediately get it over with. What are the others doing right now? Sierra and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner, probably discussing club matters, given that they're the president and vice president. As expected, Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't but notice her intense expression like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki's rummaging around the closet. A few huffs of annoyance sounds from her direction every once in a while. I'd love to talk to Yuri a bit more, especially after she gave me that book. However, she seems to be focused on her own book. I need to stop doing this. As she lifts it up to turn the page, I get a glimpse at the cover. It's the same book that she gave me, and it looks like she's only just started it. Ah. Oh damn, I hope she doesn't think I was staring at her. Our eyes meet, but her eyes dart away quickly. Sorry? No, it's fine. I didn't mean to stare, I was just spacing out a bit. Oh. Well, if I had been actually concentrating, I wouldn't have noticed. I mean, you asked to ask though. Isn't that the book you gave me? It's one of my favorites, so I thought I'd give it another read though. Not for any other reasons, I assure you. I see. But why do you have two copies of the same book? Ah, well, I know I lent you the book yesterday, but figured you might feel more comfortable with your own copy. I know that I always feel more at ease when I'm handling my own belongings. If an accident happens, there's less at stake than if you damage someone else's property, so... you're probably less clumsy than I am, though. Yuri, the even graceful girl, thinks that she's clumsy? Nah, I'm pretty sure I'm just as clumsy as you, if not more so. Oh, right. Anyway, after our meeting adjourned yesterday, I went to the bookstore to get you. That is to say, I forgot it already. I forgot I already had a copy and actually bought another. It just seemed like a waste to just hold on to it. Couldn't you just return it though? They'd already closed, so there's nothing fairly obvious than Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm glad that you gave it to me. I'll get started on it right away. That makes me happy to hear. It's the kind of story that really draws you in. If you're not careful, you can lose track of time very easily. I know I opened it for some light readers before bed, only to close it and find out the sun's rising. I'm sure that will happen to you though. You'll be able to get enough sleep as usual. That is, unless you genuinely find yourself lacking sleep, in which case you should go to bed early. But you can do whatever you want. I don't mean to overstep my bounds. Don't worry about it, Yuri. I'll be sure to read it earlier in the day. Do you mind telling me a bit more about it? Oh, I'd love to. Now, where do I begin? Yuri delicately closes the book, her eyes scanning the cover. Well, actually, I don't think I could give an adequate explanation of my own. If I were to tell you more about the story than I did yesterday, it would lose a lot of its impact. Forgive me if I sound like I'm brushing you off. That's not what I intend. It's alright, Yuri. Come to think of it, you did summarize it well enough already. Yes. I'm sorry, I seem to get lost in my own mind whenever I talk about these kind of stories. Don't you have anything like that, Circle Guy? I guess so. Yuri nods with a delicate smile. Everyone has a deeply held interest that stirs the passion within their hearts. I suppose for me, it would be my novels and... Yuri cuts herself off as though she were about to say something she didn't want to. Well, you know what I mean. What got you into these sort of stories, though? I gestured towards the book in her arms. Do your parents enjoy them as well? You paused for a moment, shyly looking down at her feet. She seems to be going over what she wants to say in her head. I've always had interest in the macabre. What? This genre can easily throw you for a loop. While many stories are simply content to introduce an antagonist and condition the reader to root against them, books like this one can find ways to flip that narrative on its head. So while you might initially find yourself relating to the protagonist, you might suddenly find out they're their own worst enemy. I'm rambling, aren't I? Please forgive me. I really should try to think about others more. Yuri, I promise, I'm not mad at you. You're just passionate, which is pretty cool. It is? For a brief moment, a tiny smile teased at the corner of Yuri's mouth. Well, I tried to worry about it too much, but sometimes I get distracted when I think about books and writing. I forget where I am and start speaking my mind. So please forgive me if I say something unusual. And if I seem like I'm not paying attention, please let me know. I really don't think you need to worry about that, Yuri. This is a literature club after all. Isn't that the sort of thing we should be discussing anyway? I suppose so. So on that note, would you like to read a bit together? You don't need to force yourself to spend time with me if you don't want to. But what if I do? You'd really want to spend your time with me? Of course, Yuri. Book in hand, I slid into the desk next to Yuri. Is everything okay? Yes. I'm terribly sorry, Circle Guy. I'm just not too accustomed to reading with company. It's usually been a solitary affair to me, you see. Yeah, I can understand how this might seem a bit unsettling for you. If it gets too overwhelming, let me know. I won't be offended if you need some space. Alright. I opened up the book, allowing the hardcover to flop against the desk. As I read through the prologue, I noticed you were glancing over at my book. I'd be lying if I said she wasn't comforting in a while, but it's somewhat distracting. I'm sorry. I hope I wasn't distracting you. Yuri, why do you apologize all the time? You've really done nothing wrong. Do I? I can't help it, I suppose. It's like an involuntary reflex. If I preemptively apologize, it'll lessen both my disappointment in myself as well as others' disapproval of me. I didn't mean to make things so awkward. Sorry. I mean, it's okay, don't worry about it. How about we do this? I pushed our two desks together and slid my book between the two of them. I suppose that'll work. Yuri puts her own copy away and shifts a bit closer to me. I study the right side of the book between... Oh, I lost track of where I was, hold on. I steadied the right side of the book between my thumb and forefinger, and Yuri does the same with the other side. Perfect! Now we can both go through it at the same time. Yes. Ah. The two of us are huddling closer together in the book, carefully reading it. I can see Yuri's gentle face in my peripheral vision. She has a stern, focused expression, her eyes slowly scanning each page. Do you need a bit more time with this page? Sorry, I guess I'm not really too quick of a reader. I look over and her gaze meet. There's a chorus sparkling into her eyes. Ah, it's quite alright, Circle Guy. We can go at whatever pace you're comfortable with. After all, you've been so patient with me today. It'd only be fair for me to return the favor, wouldn't it? Thanks. I'll try not to take too long. The two of us continue reading in relative silence. Even though we're so quiet, each turn of the page feels as though we're connected. As I let go of the page, it gently floats over to her. She delicately slides it under her thumb. Circle Guy? Having been absorbed by the story, Yuri reels me back in. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. It's fine, what were you going to say? But well, I suppose I just wanted to thank you for this. I had always hoped I could find someone to share my interest in books with. I've never really had anyone read with me before. Having someone else be there is nice. Really? I would have thought you'd at least done some reading with your family. Yes, well, I did when I was younger, but... She trails off, not finishing the thought. I decide not to press her further on it right now. Yuri takes a slow, deep breath. I'm just happy that you're here for me. I mean, with me. Not that I wouldn't want you to be there for me or anything, but... I can't believe I've messed things up again. Wait, Yuri. I don't think you've done anything wrong. If anything, I think of that as a compliment. You do? Sure, if I'm being honest, I enjoy your company as well. Okay, everyone! I think it's about time we shared today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time, but if we wait too long... Uh-oh. Yuri said, dejectedly looking down at the floor. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if I haven't been looking forward to this. It's not that. Don't worry about me, I'm alright. Yuri lets go of the book and closes the cover, handing it back to me. We got through a fair bit today, didn't we? Do you mind if I continue a bit further on my own? Or would you prefer if I only read it with you? You don't have to limit yourself on my behalf if you want to keep reading. After all, I've already finished this story before. Then I guess I'll continue reading a little bit tonight. Then we'll have a bit more to talk about tomorrow. Yes, that's a good idea, Circle Guy. Just be sure to let me know how far you get so I can avoid spoilers for you. Alright. I skimmed through the book to find the page we left off on, and I folded it slightly to mark for later. By the way, you did remember to write a poem, right? Don't worry, I'm not that much of a slacker. Got it right here in my bag. I rifled through some stray papers to pull out the bag that I wrote my poem on. While I can't help but feel a little bit nervous, I have to admit that I'm excited now. Talking to these girls has really calmed my nerves, and now I'm just eager to share my poem. After all, judging by each girl's personality, I doubt that anyone would say anything nasty about it. Well, Natsuki. I don't know if she'd be unduly harsh though. She just seems like the type of person who enjoys ribbing on her friends. Either way, I hope they realize I put hard into it. I figured that if I'd only be fair to repay their warm welcome by showing effort in club activities. Now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? Can't wait! Siri and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Siri's on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a neat black composition notebook. I can hardly see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. She's gonna put us all to shame. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. Alright. There it is. Let's go with Natsuki, because why not? I told Natsuki I was interested in her poem just today. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Try, then you're better off just leaving the club. Jeez, you don't have to beat me around the bush, do you? Why should I? This is just plain bad. Hey, do I look like a writer? This is my first ever poem. Yeah, it's really garbage, but I still tried. If you're so confident, let's see the poem you made, huh? Hard to think about. Fine! I'm, sorry if you were offended. Way to avoid a direct apology. But next time at least try a little bit harder. Nowhere to go up but up, eh? Yeah, sure, whatever, just read my poem. Knowing you'll probably hate it. Sometimes. Some folk are winners, some only lose, some are go-getters, some only cruise. Sometimes we try hard and give it all our all. Sometimes we give up. What else can we do? Thought you'd hate it. Actually, I like it. What? Don't just say it. It's good because I'm a girl. Be honest. What? No, it has nothing to do with you being a girl. I'm genuinely like the poem. Wait, really? Yeah, it's simple but pretty effective. Finally, someone who gets it. People in high school think poetry has to be What? People in high school think poetry has to be so formal and vague, but they don't realize that simple writing is just as effective, if not more. The reader shouldn't have to search for the meaning. That's just stupid. Besides, the simpler the writing, the more emphasis of wordplay. Like how I made most of the lines start with some. Yeah, I noticed that. Maybe the last couplets seem more powerful. Yes, that's exactly what I was going for. Well, good job there. Ha! Didn't expect that from the youngest of the club, did ya? Yeah, I guess not. Let's do Sayori, why not? You said this was your first poem, right? Yeah, why? It impressed me, especially for your first poem. Maybe this really is the place for you. Oh, come on, it's not that good. I mean, it's not like I'm used to writing poems or anything, but thanks, I guess. Don't be so hard on yourself, Circle Guy. Everyone has to start from somewhere. You're already off to a good start. Anyway, I guess I could show you mine now. Don't expect too much though, I'm not very good at this. Only one way to find out. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of my bed, making me... I don't know what that says. The sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you testing me to wish... Are you trusting me to wish away a fairy day? I look down, the sky is blue. I don't know what that says, I'm sorry. But I test you too. I trust you too. But if it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Well, what did you think? I hesitate as I answer. It's not that it was a bad poem. In fact, it was great. I'm just really inexperienced with poetry, especially feedback. It's really you. What's that supposed to mean? As in, the poem just really reminds me of you. It made me feel really good inside. Really? Yeah, I had no idea what to expect. This is my first time reading a poetry. But the way this was written, I don't know. It feels really wholesome and cheery. Like you are. I also really liked the last line. Trust you of all people to include breakfast in the poems. Hey, I was eating when I was So you stopped speaking immediately, just accidentally let something slip. Oh, so you wrote the poem this morning? Huh? No. Well, maybe. I forgot to write... That voice crack. I forgot to write it last night. Well, at least we know where your inspiration comes from. It's in toast! Well, I suppose it sounds silly, but it works. Then it isn't silly. Either way, thanks for showing me your poem, Sayori. It was really good. I'm happy you think so. Anyway, next time I won't forget. Tomorrow's poem will be even better. I'll hold you to that. Alright, let's go check out Yuri. Yuri's acing to sparkle as she reads my poem. My goodness, this is unparalleled. I think that might be a bit much. Oh, forgive me, if that didn't sound sincere. Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. Don't sweat it, Yuri. I just wasn't expecting to hear such a compliment from you already. I see. Yuri clears her throat. Well, I just wanted to say, this is truly an impeccable poem. Yuri glances down back at my poem. So, I assume this isn't your first... I assume this isn't your first piece, am I correct? Your composition incorporated a lot of beautiful poetic devices and imagery indicative of an experienced writer. Well, I hate to disappoint, but this is kind of my first time doing this sort of thing. You're joking, right? I shake my head. If I ended up writing a good poem, it's totally coincidental, I'm afraid. I see. Well, in that case, I think you got a wonderful gift. Although, if you would like, I could offer you some advice for your future poems. Yuri's eyes light up as though she's been looking forward to this. Please do, I need all the help I can get. I've just noticed a few qualities consistent with newer writers that show up in your poem. Perhaps what stands out the most is that you try very hard to make the structure of this poem your own. And that's okay, but if this is your first poetry you've written, it might be prudent to consider more traditional structures. Couplets, sonnets, haiku, and the like. If you're not confident in your own writing, I'll show you in your piece. It'll show you in your piece. It's like Yuri's a totally different person once she gets going. She sounds incredibly confident and stands tall, speaking clearly. Again, that's not your fault. I think that once you've studied poetic structures and techniques a bit more, you'll be able to put together a truly wonderful composition. I appreciate the feedback, Yuri. It sounds like you're very versed in this sort of thing. Would it be okay if I took a look at what you've written? Oh goodness, of course! Please let me know if you think. I'd be thrilled to explain my process. Yuri smells dreaming as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Okay, I'm so sorry, Yuri, but I cannot read any of this. If you guys want to pause the video and read it for yourself, then go ahead, but I cannot read this. I'm so sorry, Yuri. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if my writing is a bit illegible. Yeah, I can tell. Once my pen touches the page, I just want to get my thoughts down. It's fine, Yuri. I was able to read it just fine. I wasn't... What do you mean I was able to read it just fine? I couldn't even read it! Stop adding words to my mouth. I wasn't thinking that at all. Are you sure? It seems to take you a while to read it. Well, I guess I don't see cursive often. But it's really nice when I do. Your writing's actually pretty pretty. Is that so? I'm glad you think so. It made your poem stand out even more as well. It's as though your handwriting fits your word choice, or vice versa. It wasn't too short, was it? I'm used to writing longer pieces, but since this is the first time we're sharing, I thought it would be easy to share. That makes sense. Do you mind telling me what it's about, though? I'm not sure I can understand. Sorry, I didn't mean to write something confusing. Oh, it's not that. I just want to be sure I'm reading it properly. I see. I suppose from a cursory glance, it might not be obvious, but part of what makes poetry magical is how you can conjure up a vivid image with your words. While on the surface it might seem a bit out there, if you look a little deeper, you might be able to find a deeper meaning hidden amongst the lines, compounded by the metaphors used. For example, the words and images in this poem aren't meant to be taken as at face value. In actuality, it's supposed to represent the last remains of something lost to the past, and the themes of plaintive longing that comes with it. Huh, that's pretty impressive when you put it that way. You really think so? That might be a bit much, Circle Guy. No, I really mean it. I think I could learn something from poetry, Yuri. Really? Yeah, of course. You know, at first the prospect of sharing my writing was terrifying, but I'm really glad I was able to do it. Hopefully I can write another piece that you'll like, Circle Guy. I'll look forward to it, Yuri. And last but not least, Manika. Hi, Circle Guy. Hope you've been enjoying your time here. No, I haven't. It's been very lame because you're here. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I probably sound like a broken record by now, but everyone's been really welcoming. Well, a broken record isn't so bad when it plays something so nice. I guess so. Anyway, since you're new and everything, feel free to bring up any questions or concerns you might have. It's my duty as president to make sure that everything is perfect. I have to say they've been doing a good job of that already. I don't think so. I doubt that I'll ever have anything to complain about. Either way, I am always open for new suggestions for the club as well. So don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. She says that, but it's gonna be a bit intimidating to try to criticize Manika, all people. I really don't think that there's gonna be anything I'll need to speak up about either. One of the other girls would probably assist me before I ever needed to. Natsuki definitely would. No, that's out the way. Feel like sharing a poem with me? No, please no. I mean, I don't really have a choice in the matter, do I? No! You shouldn't be thinking like that. Yeah, I was just joking, kinda. It's alright, Circle Guy. I get that it's probably really awkward for you to share creative work when you're just a beginner. Especially since the rest of us have a bit more experience than you do. Why is she sounding like I'm bad? I'm not bad. Stop. That's an understatement. Exactly what I've been saying. Don't worry though, we're all a little embarrassed today, you know. I don't think many people out there share their poetry on a regular basis, but it's the sort of thing that you get used to pretty quickly once you get it over with. Yeah, that's true. I had my poem over with a sigh. Don't grade me too harshly. You know, I watched nervously as she quickly scanned through my poem. Good work, Circle Guy. Really? You can lay the brutal truth on me if you want. You don't have to be so harsh on yourself. This is your first time writing poetry, isn't it? That it is. It usually takes a while for people to become completely comfortable with their writing, and even then, they're constantly evolving their style and changing things up. I guess that's true. Either way, you shouldn't have high expectations for me. If you don't, my poems will seem better when I actually put in some effort anyway. I wanted that line half joking to myself, but it seems like Monica still picked up on it. Circle Guy, that's not very fair. More importantly though, you should have faith in yourself. Sorry. Anyway, about your poem, the subject was deeper than I expected out of you. You just don't understand the troubled genius of my angst-written mind. That might have been so. I guess you have two troubled and angsty geniuses in this club then. You're talking about Yuri, right? You wrote in a style very similar to Yuri's. Her writing is full of imagery and symbolism. While Sayori and Natsuki like to use simple and direct words to communicate their messages, Yuri likes to use complex dictation and syntax to allow readers to derive their own meaning out of it. In other words, her vocabulary and sentence structures are usually quite involved. Yeah, that sounds like her alright. It might be a bit tough to understand her writing at first, but what seems opaque actually has a very deep meaning behind it. Yeah, the themes of Yuri's poems were definitely hard to figure out. She sounds like the sort of person an English teacher would love. Don't worry, Circle Guy, if you just give her writing a few reads through, I'm sure you'll find that they're far from incomprehensible. So you say. Are you sure that my writing is similar to hers? I think it's an understatement to say that I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. Yeah, I'm sure I'll end up doing a lot of the different things before I settle in my own style. And it'll still take a while before I'm completely comfortable sharing my writing. That's perfectly fine. In fact, I'd probably be more surprised if you immediately start writing with your own style. Most people go through the same process that you're going through right now. Trying new things is the best way to find the kind of style that suits you after all. Anyway, when you talk to everyone about it, naturally they'll feel a bit biased towards their own kind of style. After all, I know I am. But don't force yourself to write in some way just because someone else wants you to. You should try to focus on what you want to do. Feel free to ask me for help anytime though. I try to be as objective as possible when I talk to people about these topics. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, do you want to see my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not that very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way though. Always on duty as club president, eh? Well, let's get to reading then. The box. I see, but I don't believe. I love fingerprint glistens on gleaming glass. Was it me? Was I always the one in the dark? I pound on the glass. My prison. Why? Why me? The pain jolts me back. The understanding pouring down like heavy rain. Wait a minute. I pound on the glass. My prison. Is she talking about the computer screen? She definitely most likely is talking about the computer screen. Let's just be real. It's Monica we're talking about. It's all a force. My heart's on display. My life has a script just playing away. The words that I have seemed to be so bright. It was so free. So many choices, so much potential. Maybe I could have had a chance. I realize now that there was never a choice. I was stuck in this box. And they, on the other side, chose for me. So, what do you think? I don't know how to say it. Sorry, I'm not really the type of person to ask for feedback. It's okay. I definitely get some kind of feeling that from reading your poem, but I'm not sure how to put it in your words. I can understand that. Just try to articulate it however you want. You can use metaphors outside of poetry, you know. Well, when you put it like that, I don't know. I'd say that your poem is kind of abstract. Very vague, at least. Like, I can't quite tell what exactly you're talking about, but even so I can feel what the speaker's feeling. Yeah, I think that describes the poem very well. Really? Mm-hmm. I do like my metaphors. Well, you'd probably be hard-pressed to find a poem without a metaphor, actually. Yeah, they're pretty well covered in English class, at least. This ability to convey emotion and concept through words, describing things even the writers might never have experienced before. I found that really powerful. When you write metaphorically, it allows the reader to focus on the emotions in the poem. I guess it kind of opens up for the reader to have their own interpretations. Exactly! It's fascinating when people can diverge from the creator's original intent to find their own meaning in a work of art. Yeah. What was your original intent then? I think it'd be more fun if you tried to figure it out yourself. Oh, don't worry, Monica, I've already figured it out. That just makes me more curious now. Maybe I'll tell you one day. But for now, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem, or anything for that matters, you get too fixated on the specific point. But if you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. So the best thing to do is to just force yourself to get something down on the paper and then tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is, if you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and write whatever's in your heart. Easier said than done. I get what you're trying to say though. It's better to look back on your work with the fresh eyes after you've gotten something down sometimes. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening! For you. Guess that's everyone. Glance around the room. That was surprisingly fun, albeit a bit stressful. I already knew that I wouldn't be able to write to the quality of the girls, but I tried my best. Everyone here is incredibly talented. Well, all the girls at least. Across the room, Sarah and Monica are happily chatting again. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they watch, Natsuki breezes through Yuri's poem, her eyes skipping over the words. Natsuki. Meanwhile, Yuri still at the paper in her hands, smiling sadly. Natsuki quickly hands Yuri back her poem. Hey, I'm done! Already? Yes, look, I was super hard to read. I'm not illiterate, you know. It was hard for me to understand at least. I just want to make sure that you call the figurative language that I employed. Yeah, I did. It was fancy. Thanks. However, I believe that you'd enjoy it more if you looked deeper into it. I enjoyed it plenty already. Anyway, are you finished with my poem yet? Yes, yours is cute. Cute? Didn't you learn anything from our conversation yesterday? Yuri looks shocked. Regret seeping into her expression. Seems like both girls still hold their own prejudices, despite whatever common ground they have. How can it be cute? You're standing there thinking that I haven't read your poem, when it's really you who hasn't read my poem. It's clearly about the push and pull between giving up and trying hard. I know that. I just meant the languages, I guess. Well, maybe you should look deeper into my poem, because I use that type of language on purpose. I see, but if I may give a suggestion, these more involved subject matters may be better suited to more complex dictation. The art of poetry is deeply intuited with... Look, I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work on me. I'm sorry, I just don't quite understand. This kind of thing only works on amateurs like Circle Guy. Ouch, I don't like where this conversation is headed. Writing in this way doesn't make you look cool or smart, okay? It just makes you look super If you write with a thesaurus open next to you, you're just going to alternate anyone. Using all these big words to make up for lack of depth, poetry is not impressing people, so you can just stop. Oh my gosh. I stare wide-eyed at Monica and Sarah, who have also fallen silent. They stare back at me, looking unsure of what to do, guessing that they don't usually have many arguments in the club, although tensions between Natsuki and Yuri already seem kind of high. Lack of depth. That's right. So if I can give some instructions now... Excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I really must ask. What makes you believe that I'll accept your advice after you've been so rude to me? Huh? Rude? That was just blunt, honestly. You. Do you even consider that other people don't hold the same opinions as you? What are you trying to say? Do I really need to spell it out for you? Yeah, you do. I want to see if you're really going there. The irony. I dare you to say it. You gives a small laugh of disbelief. I must thank you, Natsuki. I've never been this angry in my life. It's actually given me the courage to speak up. This is why you're angry all the time. Guys, we shouldn't. This doesn't involve you. Sayori, please don't rob me in my moment. So this is your moment to shine or something? Strange thing to take pride in, don't you think? No, it's my moment to finally speak my mind, while I still have the strength to... Yuri! Natsuki, have you ever realized how selfish you are? Suddenly Yuri seems to be overpowering everyone else in the room. But what? Everything always needs to go your way. You always jump to conclusions and make rash decisions regarding the consequences. And if it's never your fault, is it? You don't know me! No, you don't know me either. And yet you spoke as if you knew everything about me. Quite simply, you don't. The very fact you don't think that your blunt honesty was incredibly rude just goes to show how narrow-minded you truly are. In the moment, Yuri boldly carries on, disdain dripping from each word. I know it must be difficult to concept you to understand the whole world doesn't revolve around you and your manga. So tell me, why should I take advice from someone who can only see their own perspective? Everyone knows it. Monica, Sayori, even Circle Guy. Don't you remember how hostile you were to Circle Guy when he first joined us? I wasn't being hostile! We haven't had a new member in a long time! Sorry, not sorry for keeping on my toes. And that's just how I talk to everyone, not just a Circle Guy. Am I supposed to change my whole personality to cater to how you think I should be? If Circle Guy has a problem with my jokes, he can tell me. You don't get to speak to him. Yuri closes her eyes and shakes her head, carrying on as if she didn't hear the outburst. Do I really expect a new member to be able to speak up so easily? Not everyone is as afraid of being as brutish cretin as you. What? The rest of us were so excited to have a new member, but did that thought ever cross your mind? No. You just let your own selfish thoughts dictate your behavior. Selfish? They weren't set. You probably could have scared them off. That might have been what you wanted to do, but what about the rest of us? I just explained myself, for God's sake, but per usual you aren't listening. You know, as someone who's been ranting on about how narrow-minded I am, you're pretty in top of it yourself. There, I used a big word. Do I sound like Shakespeare yet? Am I worthy of your attention now? Ouch, both girls really have their claws out. Also, Monica and Zero didn't have any issues with me yesterday, it's just you. Of course they did, Natsuki, they just didn't say anything. Monica is too responsible and Sayori is too kind. So why don't we ask Circle Guy then, as the more unbiased spectator? Oh yo, why are you asking me? Why am I brought up to this? Fine! Circle Guy, who's right, me or Yuri? How did I get dragged into this in the first place? I don't even know what they want me to decide at this point. Should I just ignore all the personal stuff and just talk about their poetry? That's what strangled the argument after all. But it's not like I'm a good judge of writing quality given that I'm just a beginner. I don't think it'd be fair for me to take either side especially not new here. Maybe I just defer to one of the club leaders. Whoa, who am I gonna ask for help? Yo, Sayori, help me out! I hate being put on the spot like this, both you and Natsuki looking at me. While the hostility isn't aimed at me, I still feel like I'm targeted for the anger in their eyes. Guys, I gulp nervously as a bead of sweat trickles down my sweat. I'm really not the best judge for this. After all, I'm new, so I'm painfully aware of how weak my voice sounds. Music girl looks impressed. Wow, real help you are! Natsuki, let me guess! Blah 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 blah, you're being so rude, you're a broken record, Yuri, shut up! Ah, you're finally realizing how insolent you are. You got there in the end, well done! You are such a... While stunning to silence, I never heard Sayori angry before, and even Natsuki looks taken back. Immediately, the anger on Sayori's face is replaced by a flood of tears and giving away a sadness. Guys, enough of this! Please! You're tearing apart this club! Please don't do this! I love this place so much, and you guys are both my friends! I hate it when people fight, it's horrible! This place means so much to me, and I know it means a lot to you guys as well. So please, can we stop arguing over those styles better? It doesn't even matter, you're both unique, and that's what counts! Yuri and Natsuki are both looking incredibly ashamed of themselves. I guess neither of them expected that their arguments would hurt Sayori as much. That once raging fire has been stuffed out, replacing with smoldering embers. I really like your simple style, Natsuki. It's too nice to sit down and read a poem that springs to life. And I know the others do as well. Monica and I nod in earnest, putting a small smile on Natsuki's face. And Yuri, I'm amazed at how complex and deep your poems are. They're really in-depth. But there's no need to argue over which style is better. You can't really compare them anyway. It depends on what mood you're in. She's right, guys. Sometimes you're just in the mood for something simple. Sometimes you might want something a bit more complex. It's like music or movies. People like a variety of things. You can't really say that comedy as a genre is better than action, can you? Both types of appeal to different things. You wouldn't want an action movie for the laughs, would you? I look over to Sayori and she gives me a reasoning smile. She returns with a watery smile for rubbing her tears away. You said it, Circle Guy! She turns to face Yuri and Natsuki once more. Now, you both said some stuff that was pretty mean, but I know neither of you mean it. Neither of you are narrow-minded. Although, it would be nice if you could like each other's stuff a bit more. So could you try doing that a little? Please, for me, for the club. I can't but laugh as she puts on puppy dog eyes. I don't think she realizes the right time to use them. Sure, I'll try. Yuri takes a deep breath, finally lifting her eyes up the floor. You're right, Sayori. I'll also make more of an effort. And Natsuki? What? Natsuki looks up quite defiant as though expecting another insult from Yuri. I apologize for what I said. Your style has its own merits. Natsuki blinks as though slapped in the face. She clearly wasn't expecting an apology. Meh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Your style is... She diverts her eyes downwards once more. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you write pretty well. I shouldn't have said that stuff. Me neither. There's an awkward silence. That's much better, guys. Thank you for putting your differences aside. We all really appreciate it. I'll go make some tea. She rushes up as Natsuki wanders over to the closet. I glance over at Monica. She hasn't said a word throughout the whole argument, which surprises me. You should have known the one who said all of that. Why didn't you then? I wince as the words leave my mouth. They sounded more accusatory than I would have liked. Well, I know I'm the leader and I run this club, but I'm not the greatest of people. I frown. If she isn't good with people, how can she run a club? She must have cut the confusion at my face, as she hastened to explain. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm fine with people, it's just their drama that I can't really deal with. Well, that's why you have Sayori, right? She's an excellent vice president, able to deal with conflict much better than I can. Which is pretty embarrassing, at least for me. But it should have been my duty to deal with, not hers. I don't blame you, seriously. It was pretty tough to get involved. I could barely speak up. True, but that's exactly the sort of thing that a president could be able to deal with. Nah, come on, Monica. Don't see it like that. You and Sayori just have different strengths, that's all. I always thought of her as a little ditzy sometimes, but she definitely has a knack of social situations. Definitely. I'm very grateful to have her as a vice president. Well, the both of you do a really good job running this place. I know that's a bit of an early assessment. But you know, first impressions and all. She smiled sweetly at me, causing my stomach to knot. That's kind, Sickle Guy. I'm glad Sayori brought you along to the club. I really do hope you stick around. Don't worry, I will. Monica seems like such a genuine person and she makes a great president regardless of what she might think. Hopefully I'll be able to properly get to know her during the school year. Okay everyone, it's just about time for us to leave. How did you feel about sharing your poetry? I know that you carefully avoid mentioning the argument that just occurred. It was a lot of fun. Some moments were worth it. It was alright, but mostly. Sickle Guy, how about you? I actually really enjoyed myself. It seems like I do like expressing myself through poetry a lot more than I initially thought. Everyone looks intently at me, the girls smiling at me. It was really cool getting to see everyone's different writing styles. That's awesome! In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow, and hopefully you learn something from us too. So your poems will turn out even better. Aha, yeah. I think to myself as I begin to pack up. Today I managed to learn a little more about the kinds of poems that everyone likes. With any luck, I'll be able to learn more about the girls as individuals through their name, their themes and messages. I nod to myself, turning to Sayori. Hey Sayori, ready to walk home? Sure! Okay, see you guys tomorrow then. As we leave the club room, Sayori turns back to wave at the girls. I do the same. Natsuki smiles and quickly looks away to act like she doesn't care. Yuri awkwardly smiles and nods. As expected from the school idol, Monica gives a friendly grin and waves back. Sayori, about what happened earlier? Eh? What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki. I remember you told me yesterday that they sometimes bicker, but are all their arguments normally that bad? I feel a bit guilty as I ask her, as I know she doesn't like talking about conflicts. There's a slight dip in the cheeriness of her voice as she replies, No, not at all. They have their differences, but it's like the first time I've ever seen them fight like that. They're both wonderful people, I promise. You don't hate them or anything, do you? Oh, not at all. It's only normal for people to argue. I guess I was just curious. After all, you know them better than I do. Serious, a relieved sigh. You know, Circle Guy, it's been so nice seeing you again. I didn't really think we'd get to spend much time with one another again. Yeah, tell me about it. It's been really fun hanging out again, and I don't really know when we started drifting or why. Guess it was just life coming between us. Sayori nods, looking a little reflective. Still, I'm glad you let me join the club. I'm not going to lie, at first I was a bit doubtful when you told me it was about literature. But hey, I guess it just goes to show that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. She giggles and I frown. Did I say something funny? Nice pun! Did you even realize? Huh? Pun? Ah, you mean about the book common? Oh, and this is a literature club. Geez, looks like the club's really starting to rub off on me, isn't it? So it might be known as a bit of an airhead, but sometimes she can really notice things that others don't. I wonder what it really isn't like inside her head. Ah, you haven't changed at all, Circle Guy. You always knew how to make me laugh. I blush slightly. I've never really known how to react to that compliment, especially when it comes from someone from the opposite gender. I'm glad I'm able to do that. I'll be honest though, I didn't think I'd make so many new friends if I joined the club. Well, they are a really nice bunch. I'm not surprised. Yeah, a pretty warm welcome. She nods contently. Anyway, let's see what the future holds. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, see ya tomorrow. These girls are all interesting characters, aren't they? Different personalities and a variety of writing styles. Yet they're all united under the same club. I really wonder how Monica found all of them. In just 2 days, I feel like I've made progress with each member. Getting to know Yuri and Nasuke, actually getting to talk to Monica a little bit. And of course, reuniting with an old friend. I never would have guessed that this would all come from joining the club. But hey, I'm not complaining. Let's just hope my writing improves over time so I can write poems to a standard more like theirs. Speaking of which, there's work to be done tonight. Let's do this. I like this transition. Very cool transition. Okay, well, I think that's the end of part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if it sounds boring or anything. I just read what I saw, and I messed up quite a bit. But hey, I hope you enjoyed this part 2. Part 3 coming out later. Bye!